glad we won that. The only thing I can say statistically was we won the turnover margin, obviously won the penalties, and then we were really good in overtime on both sides of the ball. We wasted the first half. Their coaches had better concepts and schemes than our coaches did. Our players got out of position some, but for the most part, I thought, particularly through the first quarter and a half, that they had better concepts, did a better job of scheming than we did. And then at halftime, our coaches were fantastic. The adjustments we made, the players were really good about absorbing information, not panicking, not pointing fingers, taking it back out on the field and executing it and playing much better, obviously. I don't know, I think we had like 8 yards in the first quarter or something. So we started really, really, really slow. But I think they outcoached us in the first half. Again, I have to watch the tape, but they got us on 6 or 8 plays on their offense, and then they got us on 2 or 3 concepts that they were using to slow us down in the running game. And what we should have done is get to the passing game quicker. Now, we did have a couple drops, and we did misfire. Early in the game, Bowman misfired on at least 3 plays that would have given us big plays. It is what it is, but for the most part, I think we won the game because we were in better condition. The latter part of the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and overtime, you know, when you get tired, the first thing that goes is your mind. Mentally, you don't play well. You make mistakes. That didn't happen to our guys. Our guys are in great condition. They were able to function when they were fatigued, and we were able to finish the game. And that's the reason why we won the game. All the credit to those guys. They're good coaches. I had a really nice conversation with Coach Pittman before the game. And first time I had really crossed paths with him, surprisingly, that he's from Oklahoma. But they're doing a good job over there coaching. They've improved their roster, guys, in the off season with free agency. They're a better team, a much better team now than what they were. And as I said on Monday, this is going to be a real challenge for us. Moving forward, every game will be this way. I mean, pretty much everybody's equal.
What's it say about, I guess, your players that they were able to handle that bad first half as calmly and maturely as you said? Is that a byproduct of the experience?
So I'm gonna go to the culture we have here. I know everybody gets tired of hearing that, but our culture allows us to function in critical times. In times when most people panic, we don't panic. We take advantage of it and stay the course.
What does winning a game like this do for this team?
We can get a lot of things out of it. One, there'll be a lot of good coaching on video. Mistakes we made. There was a lot of mistakes that we made. Coaches made mistakes. As I said early in the game, you know, my job is to evaluate everything equal, and they outcoached us, certainly in the first quarter. But they can understand if they stay the course, don't panic, take the information, make the adjustments, then you can always figure out a way to win. Give yourself a chance.
Do you think some of the ups and downs of last season maybe helped this group going?
Very well could have. The maturity helped us. So the culture allows us to function in situations like that, but the maturity allows coaches to communicate with the players because they've been here before. They've all seen this during their career, and that helps considerably. If you had a really young team, today might have been a little bit more difficult.
When you're down at the end of regulation, going towards the scoreboard, two stoppages in play, one on the reset of the clock, the other on the drawing them off sides. What were the explanations you got on those?
So when we go on 2 and we clap and then clap again, well, we motioned a tight end to run the ball over here. They jumped, and the explanation to me was you can't do that. But we've done it before. So there's the issue you have with officiating crews. That's the SEC crew. We did it. We've done it before. We did it all preseason in scrimmages with Big 12 crews, and didn't get it called. So Steve Shaw is the head of the officiating. He needs to fix it. He needs to get them all in one room and everybody has the same rule. That's the way I see that.
What about the time, when they reset the time?
Well, I was just telling them they were wrong. Was there not 147 before the ball was snapped? I looked at the clock and I saw 147 because in my brain, I was doing a 4 to 5 second play and a 40-second runoff, call timeout, and then deal with it after that. So I saw 147, and they messed something up. I'm not sure what they messed up. I don't really care. But all I know is they gave us a 3-second play on a 9-yard run. Correct? He made, what did he get, 8 or 9 yards? And that's where I had an issue with it. They said when the ball was blown dead after the play at 3 seconds after the snap. There's no way. I mean, maybe it was. I've been wrong before, but I'm going to guess it was a 6-second play before he went down, because not only did that happen, they were pushing and shoving. So my argument to them was, okay, I'm good that you're going to restart the 40, but it wasn't 143. It should be about 139. And here's what's interesting in football. They said, Coach, it's only 3 seconds anyway. And I said, every second counts. Do you realize how many seconds there were left when they tied the game? 2. So I'm just saying, I mean, they said, okay, well, every second counts. Okay, really? It's only 3 seconds, Coach? There was 2 left. Worked out, but it is what it is. In my opinion, they need to have all officiating crews in one room going over the rules so we don't have issues like that. There's always a debate. We scored a touchdown and they called an illegal crackback block on a guy blocking back, on a guy that was setting the edge here, and he hits him at the side. But sometimes they say that's legal, sometimes they say it's not. Either way, it doesn't make a difference to me. Just make a decision, and we'll go one way or the other. We had a discussion before the game about it. We talked to 3 officials, and we told them exactly what we were going to do, and they said it was good. Obviously, we didn't talk to enough of them because somebody called it.
Mike, obviously a lot of imperfections in this game, but college football has some of its best games when it's a little bit herky-jerky. You've been in this game a long time. Do you still sort of find a thrill in days like this where maybe it's not perfect, but pretty damn fun?
You know, the one thing is, you guys that cover us, you come here, you're always going to see a good game. That's one thing. You get your money's worth here. You know, we're sold out. I think people, they know they're going to see a good game here. It's a lot of fun here. Unfortunately, it's hard on coaches. But there were so many things in that game. As I shared with the players, there'll be a lot of really good teaching and coaching, not only for the players, but for the coaches. There's just a lot of things that happened in that game that were very unusual. But as you said, you're correct that college football, that's why people love to watch it. Every game matters.
Mike, they gassed you in the run game all day long, but for 4th and 1, a couple of guys stand in there and make a play and in the game. How much pride do you take in that last play?
So I shared that with them, and we got a lot of things we got to fix. One of the issues that we face is the ability of that quarterback to run, pulls another guy out of run defense. I mean, you guys know that. Football is a numbers game. Causes some issues. He took off early in the game a couple times, so it concerned us. So we're doing a better job of checking him. Then you get hit, you're about a half man short inside. But there was times when we had to make plays, and I mentioned to them that they were able to do it. Again, I think, hopefully their grit and their grind and their mental toughness allows us to do that. And, gave us a chance. I mean, we pitched a shutout in overtime. It's pretty good.
Mike, with your run game, you talked last week about needing to improve that and seemed to struggle a little bit more
Yeah,
today.
we're struggling. You're being nice. We got our ass kicked in the running game. We got a lot of work. I will say this. I probably shouldn't have said that. We got beat up pretty good in it, but we needed to get to the pass quicker. Okay, there's an extra guy there, and those are things we've talked about. And, once we started to expand the width of the field, we were able to, throw for 326. If we would have had a better plan of attack based on what we saw early in the game, we probably throw for 450. Just percentages in my head on knowing what happened and when it happened. But we're not going to be able to get away with this much more. not going to happen. We're going to have to get better at that. We're going to have to get to 4.2 yards a carry, period. We can't, we're not going to be this fortunate as we move on down the road.
Are there things that you think carried over from last week, or was today a different issue because of a different team?
This team was much more physical, so, but the extra guy was an issue, but a more physical team. There's areas that we can improve and get better, and those are things that we have to work on. You know, obviously, whenever you have an issue, you got to find out what it is. Then you got to have a plan to fix it. Then you got to put that plan in place to fix it, and then you got to go execute it. It's really that simple, and that's what we have to do this week.
You had some otherwise sure-handed receivers drop some passes today. Was that just out of character, or what was going on there?
We're usually pretty good about catching passes. We dropped some early in the game. That's, you know, what I said. Gosh, we probably a couple of them were big plays also, you know. It is what it is. It happens some. I'd rather it not happen. And he misfired on about 4 throws, which he's usually pretty accurate there. So the combination of that's not good.
Do you think any of the drops were not good throws, or was that more?
I think we had, I mean, at least 2 legitimate drops I can remember. Maybe another one, but he misfired 3 or 4 times, you know. Combination of a few drops at critical times and misfiring. You know, it's kind of like the movie Airplane. It's a bad time to stop sniffing glue, you know.
The pick six really stopped their momentum early. You guys hadn't been able to get a stop up until that point. Then you had the muffed punt that you all recovered. Those turnovers that you all were able to force them to take advantage of, how big was that today?
Well, kept us in the game. And the special teams issue, you know, we talk about it, particularly early in the season. Penalty yards, critical mistakes in special teams. They're going to look at, they missed their field goal in overtime. We're going to look at, we missed our field goal in overtime. You know, that happens. I mean, Logan's been really good this year. What is he, like 7 of 8 or something? I don't know what he is. But he missed one. And so people, they'll look at that as a critical mistake. I'm sure coach will feel like the muff punt, they'll see that as a critical mistake. They'll see that as change of field position. They'll see that as change of momentum, would be my guess.
Colin came out on crutches after halftime. Any updates on his health? Colin Oliver?
Yeah. I think that he's done for the year. I'm not sure. I haven't gotten an update other than the game when they said that he wasn't coming back, and they thought that he might have had maybe a fracture or a crack or something, but I'm not for sure.
His backup, Obi, came in and looked great. Hadn't finished with 9 tackles, 2 sacks. Just his play in game 2 at this level.
Without watching the tape, welcome to big-time college football, whether you like it or not. You're in when things matter. Looked like to me he was active. I think there was twice he had potential sack opportunities. It didn't get him down. But he's practiced. You know, he's been with us half a year, and so it's extremely difficult for coaches to take when good players and good young men that bust their butt get injured and potentially are out for the year, especially Colin. You guys know how good a guy Colin is, what good a person he is, and you know, he's a legitimate Cowboy. But Obi's got to step up now. If he is finished, Obi's got to step up and make plays.
Who turn to behind him?
What's that?
Who steps up now into the second string role behind Obi?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Did you have something to say to Bowman about that after that personal foul, that taunting penalty at the end?
I waited till we got in the locker room, just based on what I try to follow through on things I preach to the team, which one of the areas that you're talking about, you're referring to is anything that's negative that can happen in a game, verbally, body language, facial expressions, attitude, any of that. I don't need to hear any of that. I don't want to see any of that. It's not going to do anything good. I would ask you the same thing I asked the team. Is there anything that comes good out of negativity or poor body language in life? Probably not, right? So at that time, when I wanted to rip his ass, I didn't. And then in the locker room, we discussed it, talked to it about the team. And essentially, there's going to be 3 ways that are automatic personal fouls as we move forward in college football toward the NFL. Like everything we do now is the NFL, even celebrations, correct? The celebrations that take place now in college football used to never take place. But if you spin a ball, if you choreograph a bunch of people and you have some kind of dance or everybody falls on the ground, or if you go look another player up or their bench or taunt them, you're automatically going to get a 15-yard penalty. So he got exactly what he deserved. What he should have done is ran down the field and play the next play, because in that situation, he made an unbelievable throw. We made a great catch. We made a big play. You knew it. I knew it. His mom and dad knew it. His girlfriend knew it. His wife knew it. The fans knew it. The other team knew it. Everybody knew it. You didn't have to go tell them. Everybody knows you made a good play. So he needs to play the next play.
It seemed like every time you guys needed him to get open, Brennan, especially in that second half, was able to get open. With as physical as this game was, what to say about your 5'10"?
Yeah, with Brennan, you know, he's like a little rubber ball, like a little bouncy ball. You're too young. When we were kids, they had little round bubble bouncy balls they threw everywhere. That's what he's like. He bounces off everybody, and I just keep knocking on wood that he just stays healthy. And we try to get him out of the game. He don't want to come out of the game. We tell him we don't, you know, we got to get you off the return team. He doesn't want to come out of the game. So we just leave him in there and let him play and let him keep going. I don't know how many catches he had. 9 catches. So, and obviously there's not a red flag that we throw to him. We only targeted him 19 times. So no secret to that one.
So Mike, on the Gordon touchdown, you know, you toss it to him wide. He's got momentum. You may be having like a athletic fullback out leading the run. I mean, does that give you some food for thought? You know, when you say you got to do things differently or better in the run game, maybe those are options you can play with more.
Yeah, we got watered up too much inside, right? I mean, you've seen enough football in your life. It doesn't take a genius to figure out what happened. And we stayed hard-headed, and we didn't think about expanding the width. It's 52.5 yards wide field, and we used about 11 yards. So if we can use more of the field, it'll give us a better chance, because it creates a better chance from a numbers perspective. And that was a good call by Dunn. Our coaches did a good job in the second half and halftime, so I'm not saying they didn't coach good. They just didn't coach good all week to get to the first quarter. But we pulled both guys, had overload in the boundary, flipped the ball out to him, had few lead blockers. He gets out there and he does his thing.
So it was a deep throw to Schultz. Was that something you guys cooked up for this game, or has that kind of been in your pocket for a while?
We've had that for a long time. Yeah, we've run it before. I don't remember who it was, but we've run that play before. That was a great call. At that particular time, it was a really good call. It was a well-executed play. You know, in the latter part of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, Nauro called some really good blitzes at critical times. So we had good calls at particular times. We just didn't start the game out that way.
Mike, you threw it to the tight ends a lot. What was that? Was that defense given opportunities, or is that?
Well, you guys complained about me not throwing to the tight end, and social media's killing my ass. Gage tells me social media's all over me about not throwing to the tight end, and my old man's all over me about not throwing to the tight end. So I said, guys, we got to start throwing to the tight end. And
It always works.
well, I know you're right. I'm not disagreeing. I mean, that's why I don't let Dunn come in here and you guys rip his ass for not throwing to the tight end.
We got good ideas.
Right. I mean, if you'll rip him, I'll bring him in here, but we need to throw to the tight end. The freshmen look pretty good, huh?
Anything else? Some of the receivers.
Comedy hour's almost over, guys.
The receivers struggled at times in the first half to kind of get separation. That didn't seem to be as much of an issue late in the game. Was that something the receivers
3 busted
did?
routes. Okay, Mo went one way, Curley went the other, and the other guy ran into him. 3 times we busted routes. On routes and patterns that we've run here for a long time. And I don't know why right now. I can't give you an answer for that, but that's what happened. That's why it didn't look good, and it wasn't a good result, because we didn't execute. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.